There's a price for everything. There's a price for not doing, there's a price for doing. There's a price for leaving, there's a price for staying. Everything has a price. There's a price for remaining, there's a price for changing. There's a price for being a slave, there's a price for being free. Everything has a price. Oh, I wanted to actually capture a thought I was having. Oh, I was gonna say, like when I was standing on the seesaw and I was doing my my stretch over there, it's so weird. You know that little pose I was doing, just arching the back and just standing, you know, a namaste. That thing feels so good, especially when you're used to sitting like a long time, to sort of like reverse the damage of slouching. And that actually, it's a very lightweight way to like loosen up your back. You literally just stand. It just goes to show like how unnatural, or like, especially if you're looking from the outside, it looks like I'm just standing, but it does like wonders if you're actually the one doing it. And it just kind of like, it painted a picture of like how life actually is. Like outside it looks very different from like when you're in it, you know. And it's something I was thinking about earlier, about like, not everything is what it seems, right? Because I was on the concept of like control and manipulation, and how you're either plugged into the matrix or you're plugged into the source, right? If you're plugged into the matrix, you're disconnected from the source. If you're plugged into the source, you're disconnected from the matrix. And depending on which system you're plugged into, like you get an endless stream of information that just gets shot into your consciousness. You don't have control over the frequency or the pace. So if you connect it to the matrix, all these messages, they just get flooded to you. And I was seeing this, and I have to say this on YouTube, man. I gotta flag this. YouTube has become dark web, dude. Like I found some dark shit on YouTube. I'm like, how is this even like okay, you know? You know, like they put animals against each other. Like, I'm like, but these animals don't have consent of whether they want to fight or not. Like, it just seemed very dark. And then I had this ad pop up to me, like, are you horny? Something about you being alone. And it's just a download. I'm like, in broad daylight, I'm hearing this ad coming from YouTube, dude. You know, and I'm like, you know, is this Pornhub? I'm like, how is this even okay, dog? How is this ad even allowed to be played? You know? And I'm like, these guys are so fucked up, man. Like, I had respect for YouTube because I learned a lot. You know, a lot of what I can do, I learned from YouTube. But now, they like feeding me bullshit. And they know what I like. I like creativity, spirituality. But they just feed me bullshit. And I'm like, not interested. And I just keep feeding this bullshit. You know? And again, it goes back to what I was saying. If you're plugged into the matrix, the stream of consciousness keeps flowing. You cannot stop it, and you cannot control what goes in, what flows through you. And I was saying that the internet, it's very good because it's powerful, but if you stay connected to the internet, trust me, you cannot avoid it. You'll get fucked. Your mind will get wiped. You will get brain dead. You will get incepted. You will get fed ideas that are not yours, and they will feel like yours. You know, I feel it because I spend time away. I spend time like outside. So when I'm online, I can feel my consciousness dip, and literally, dude, 20 minutes is too much. 20 minutes is a lot. It doesn't take hours. It takes a few minutes. And sometimes a few seconds, because now they've learned to hook shit. Because I'm an editor, they want to hook with videos because they know people's attention spans are short. So they create videos that are
another form of mind control that basically changes humans into something that they're not. They're trying to basically make us less alive. All of the things that make us human, they're trying to get rid of it. They're trying to stop us from being who we truly are.
So you almost have no control now. Like as soon as you click, you're just watching until the end, and then you have to scroll, and then you know, and that's the whole point, is to get you brain dead. And it's exactly that thing I was saying, that if you're plugged into the internet or the matrix, whatever comes, you don't have no control over that. If you're plugged into the source, similarly, you'll get insights that you're like, holy shit, where does this come from? I was getting insights and I had no idea where these things were coming from. Like just earlier, I was just talking and flowing, and I'm like, where is this coming from? Like I didn't read it anywhere. I didn't watch a video. It was just like flowing. And that's where these ideas came from. It's like, oh yeah, that's because you've plugged out of the matrix. Now because you've plugged out, you've plugged into source. And now this information now, boom, has been plugged out. Now this information is flowing through. And how much flows through is not up to you. It will just flow and flow. And then you must do what you can with it. That's why other people, like, they'll make videos, some people write books or whatever, but it's like you're plugged into the source and the information just keeps flowing through you. Similarly, when you plug into the matrix, that information keeps flowing through you. You have no control over it. The only control you might have is which outlet do you plug into. That's it. What flows through there, you cannot control. Only control you have, which outlet am I plugging into, the matrix or the source? Am I going to be a slave, or am I going to be an awakened one? That's really like the only choice you have. And once you plug in, funny enough, after that, you don't really have a choice what happens. Another thing I learned is like this energy flows through you. What you do with it is really up to you. That's the choice you have in a way. But it's like your consciousness is always going to bug you to do something about it. Otherwise, you'll be like discontent. You'll be happy. Like you always feel like something's missing because you have a calling. Now the calling is there. And now you have to respond to the call. If you don't respond to the call, there will be consequences. If you respond to the call, there will be consequences. There's a price for everything. There's a price for not doing. There's a price for doing. There's a price for leaving. There's a price for staying. Everything has a price. There's a price for remaining. There's a price for changing. There's a price for being a slave. There's a price for being free. Everything has a price. Yeah, and that's perspective. It's actually not what I wanted to say, but yeah, there you go. But what I really wanted to say is, not everything is what it seems. The ones that seem like they're in control are being controlled. The ones that seem like they're in power are being overpowered by something. Even people like I thought of thinking about, like even people who are successful, have all these cars and these houses and all these riches. You could be a slave to money. Take all that money away, you probably commit suicide. Like you're a slave to something, right? And like to be truly unplugged, it looks different. It doesn't look fancy, Being unplugged or being awake, it's not. It doesn't. You can't. That's why it's not marketable. You cannot market it. It doesn't look cute, And waking up is also extremely painful, because you have to wake. There's so many levels to waking up as well, right? First, you have to wake up to who you are. You thought you were this way. You realize, no, you're a piece of shit. Oh my God, really? So that's not very comfortable. You have to deal with it. You have to accept that. And then you have to forgive yourself. And then you have to accept yourself. And then you have to learn to love yourself before you can be yourself. So there are levels. There are levels, right? But that's not all. And then you have to wake up to the world. See the world for what it really is. You'll see all the people you thought were for you. Whoa, these people were the reason why your life wasn't happening well. But in your mind, you thought, nah, these people are like, they got my back like a bra strap. Oh, yeah. But no, these people are the reason why, like, it took you so long to get where you need to get to. Or the reason why you'll never get to where you need to get to. And then you have to wake up to that. That's another painful story, There are levels. You never stop waking up until you're done waking up. You don't wake up just once and like, oh, great, I see. No. Wait for it, okay? A new level comes with a new devil. And Yeah, and that's been my experience. That's what I've experienced recently. That's why right now, you know where I'm at right now? Nothing is physical for me right now. Everything is spiritual, completely. Things, that's why I say not everything is what it seems. The 3D world is kind of like a mirage, a distraction in a way. It's the experiential realm. It's like the realm where the predominant human senses exist. But there are senses beyond the five that they don't tell you about. There's so many. I don't even know how many more there are, but there's so many other senses you have. And funny enough, the only one they touch on is like woman, sixth sense. Okay. Oh, so there are more than five. Or is it only women who are capable of six? You know, they touched on it, but they don't want to go further than that. There's so many other senses that you awaken. And then, you know, and that's when reality becomes distorted. Like, holy shit. That's where, like, you realize that not everything is what it seems. Everything is so distorted. That's where you really pay attention. And you look at things on such a deep, profound level. It's not like, oh, it's not like obvious. Like, oh, that guy is 1, 2, 3. You know? And let me say this in closing, because I said it in the morning, but I didn't do it on video. But it's the whole point of, like, how to determine when someone's good or bad. Like, it's basically like discernment broken down to a science, right? Now, this is what I've learned from experience as well. So there's this thing like actions speak louder than words, right? Like, okay, you know, some people base on like what you said. Oh, but you said you're this person, you said you're that person, so that's who I'm gonna take you for you know, at face value. You said you're this person, so I'm gonna take it as that. And there's some people go beyond that. You see, again, levels, right? The obvious people just believe what they hear, right? And then levels. People go beyond a level beyond that. Pay attention to what you do, because they understand that you can say, "Oh, I love people. Oh, I love God. I love Jesus," but you treat people like shit, right? You can't even greet your neighbor. You can't even hug the person next to you. When you know you're disgusted by someone who's different from you, but when you talk, you speak sweet words, say you love people and all that bullshit, right? So many people like that. Like, I don't wanna get into trouble. But a level beyond that, right, which is what I've discovered, and this for me is the ultimate level of discernment, right? And it's like, because I've noticed, there's some people, like bad people can speak sweet words. Bad people can do good deeds. So words and actions are not enough, especially when someone becomes really familiar with who they're manipulating and they become familiar with body language and tone and all those things. It becomes very hard to distinguish whether this person is good or not. There's only one thing that's impossible to fake, and that is the fruits. The fruits. You look at the fruits, the kind of fruits that a person produces, those cannot be faked. Those cannot be faked. And the fruits can extend to so many things of life, right? I thought about it in a family context. If you're a father, parent, whatever, your fruits are your children. What quality children do you have? Are they morbid, miserable, depressed? Are they happy? Do they believe in themselves? Have they been encouraged? Have they been given the tools to combat this life? Or are they alone in the world, even though they have people around them? The fruits will determine the tree. The fruits will determine the quality of the tree. The quality of the fruit will determine the quality of the tree. So that thing became clear to me. I'm like, this is how you discern. Because a lot of people can fake stuff. There were people I was hanging with, they were speaking nice words, they were saying nice things to me. Some guy even sort of like anointed, like, oh yeah, man, you're a light being. You must not lose your way, not lose your path. Give it a few weeks later, he's now trying to twist my mind, trying to get me to do things that are against, you know, things of the flesh, things I know are against what I'm aiming for. I'm like, this is the same guy who was telling me I'm a light being, I must protect my soul, protect my spirit. So I'm like, bad people can speak sweet words, but what kind of fruits do they produce? Those cannot be faked. The fruits will be obvious. Pay attention to a person. An obvious way is, if a person says a thing, give them a month. Go check back. Go check back in a month. you know? And again, like much like nature, for you to harvest, what is a reasonable harvest period? It's about 3 to 4 months, right? So if a person says they're a certain way, give them 3 to 4 months and see what kind of fruits they produce. Trust me, you don't even need to talk to them. You will know exactly who they are. And funny enough, you don't even like if you're in tune enough, you don't even need to give them time. Just pay attention to people's fruits. That's it. You know. And in a simple context, it's if you're a parent, your fruit are your children. What kind of children do you have? What quality? Are they rebels? Oh, I hate everything. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or do they feel loved and validated? Blah blah blah. What kind of fruits do you produce? That is the ultimate form of discernment, in my opinion, in my experience. Because fruits cannot be faked. Words can be faked. Actions can be faked. Fruits cannot be faked. And that's me in closing. That's the last thing I'm going to say. I didn't plan to say this shit, but I'm glad I did. Yeah, anyway.